back, and in case you're just joining us, it's Tuesday's Ride, the Easter, the Christmas special. I'm actually fast forwarding to Easter when we've not already.
No, we finish Christmas.
No, at least we have to be through Christmas first before we get to Easter. And so joining us is one of our seasoned analysts, publisher of Patri newspapers, a very comrade, Victor Chika. Compliments of the season to you, Victor.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, so let's look at what some of our papers are saying this morning. We have the Vanguard newspaper. We'll just read through the headlines and we'll speak to one or two of the comments there because of time. Gazette for all. We didn't alter tax laws. That is the federal government saying that. And when you look at the photo speak, we have children who were the final lap of children who were recently released in Niger State with the governor of Niger State, Governor Marco. And diplomatic spat with U.S. on religious violence resolved federal government. So that's it for the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
All right, away from the Vanguard, let's take a look at the Daily Trust newspaper. On Daily Trust, federal government digs in on tax laws. Chieftaincy extraordinaire. There's no just a pictorial here.
Commercials there.
Commercial for the chieftaincy extraordinaire. That's just it.
All right, this day, frontline accountant who do off on the shop, Arthur Baleful dies at 95. And below the masthead, in joint operation Nigeria-US begin mapping of terrorist enclaves nationwide. That is it to take on the Nation newspaper now.
All right. The Nation, federal government no going back on tax law from January 1. Gains of Tinubu's administration by Information Minister Idris. We have APC set to bounce back in Kano as stakeholders endorse Tinubu for second term barrier for governorship. Harvest of budget. Makinde, Kefas, Sani signed a lot of monies there. And Uzodima others present the budget as well. All right, that's it on the Nation.
The Daily Independent has Trump threat. U.S. conducts surveillance flights over Nigeria. So to me, it's no longer a threat because since the U.S. is already conducting surveillance flights, then he has actually meant what he has said. Okay, we'll have this other one there. Food system shows resilience amid festive demand spikes. Okay, that's it from the Daily Independent.
Right. Nigerian Tribune is next. Oyo, Ogun, Lagos unveil joint security offensive to secure highways and cities. Go after bandit criminals in Southwest. Chief of Army Staff tells troops. And Kofi governors orders battle to ease local Abuja gridlock. Federal government introduces mandatory drug test for public service applicants. And yeah, that's it on Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, the Punch is our next paper for review. It says autonomy battle. Local governments demand direct funds as states receive 7.43 trillion naira. That's the major for the Punch newspaper at this moment.
Right. Lastly, let's take on the Guardian. The Guardian newspaper. Investors wary as demolitions flatten over 250 houses. Federal government introduces new emergency passport. Federal government defends new counter-terrorism doctrine, pledges strict rules of engagement. And federal government mandates dope test for federal public service applicant. Tax roll escalated, groups alleged altered law call for mass action. Lagos unveils 800 million LSSTF headquarters, hails Adebutu's donation. And the picture there, real estate investors wary as demolitions flatten over 250,000 houses. All right, that's it on The Guardian.
All right. That's it on the papers this morning. And we'll just take a few comments from Comrade Victor Ocheka, publisher of the Pathway newspapers. But first of all, let's go forward now before we come. Trump threat, U.S. conducts surveillance flights over Nigeria. I don't know. How did you see it coming?
Yeah, I think it is a welcome development in the sense that we are actually moving to action. Now, especially these periods of the festive period when people are going home to celebrate, it is important that we secure our territory. And I know that the major concern of the United States to support Nigeria in terms of fight against terrorism is to also make their presence known more, or bring in their presence more to our nation. So if they have actually taken that steps, like what we read in the paper and so many media outfits, I think it's a very, very good action. And that is to say that the president is not just somebody who will just make a comment in order to draw attention or in order to provoke some sessions of people, but they have actually put machineries on ground. It's good. During the Buhari regime, we have the commanding general that came to visit Nigeria. I think that period of time, there were a lot of stability in terms of insecurity. So now that they have their president, they should look at the areas, especially the northern part, north central, and currently we're having information that they are gradually moving to the southwest. So they should take care of those areas and eliminate these terrorists so that those resources we are using in combating terrorism can be used for other infrastructure, like in terms of health. I was talking to a friend who is a medical doctor in FNC. So when we're having conversations, it's until now the federal government have not come to a conclusion with it. And this is a nation that have more than 200 million people. If the health is not, if the health sector is not working, how can the common man get medical attention?
Care.
It's very, 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 very bad. And the federal government should allow the United States to eliminate these people so that we can channel the resources to other sectors.
I agree.
Okay, so I think I'd like to align with you because from the language, body language of the president when he proposed the bill, the budget for the year, we had security and defense having the highest.
Yes.
Why health? Was having less.
Because they don't take treatment in
Nigeria. The country.
So yes, and one of the ways to make a country is their budget for their security sector. That is, if you look at the time of Jonathan, the issue they have with Dokbesi, the issue they have with so many of the what is it called? Is it Dasuki Gate? If you look at that issue, the money was looked through the purchase of arms and ammunition to fight terrorism. These are the same thing we are still facing. So the federal government should up and doing, allow the United States to fight and make budget for other sectors like health, education, infrastructure, human capital development, and technology, so that we can be able to at least alleviate. We think this by next year now they are done with administration. We are going to focus on politics. Now they are focusing on politics. Yes, they are looking at how can we source for funds, how can we do this. This is uncalled for. Yes, the federal government should at least look at what the doctors are saying. Look at areas that needed proper attention. For instance, a federal government hospital is not functioning. The resident doctor have been on strike for long. For a nation like this, this is bad. This is bad. A time will come, even the common man, the blind people will know that yes, we are actually going through pain. Now we are talking about the tax. A House of Representative member raised an issue that the tax, what they passed into law is not what the executive signed. That is to say, there was a forgery. They planted the ad.
Talking about that, the federal government responded, according to Vanguard, saying we didn't alter tax laws as its national affair. What we didn't pass can't become law. Lawmakers, senators, reps sit today over controversial alterations. Others, ADP rights group demand thorough probe
Yes.
on the
You see,
tax law.
I read about the People Gazette make a statement that each senator went home for this budget that I joined the past. That each senator went home with $50,000 as a bribe from the presidency. Why?
Allegation.
Yes, allegedly. And each House of Representative member went home with $30,000.
Allegedly.
So that they can do what? They can fast track the passage of that budget. Yes, it's fine. You can induce somebody to do something, but allow what they give to you to be in the document. Because this issue of tax, I have carefully studied some part of it. I'm still doing my own studies on this issue of tax. You are now taxing the common people who are suffering. We are complaining that we are not doing well in terms of the available resources to purchase foodstuff in the market because of the cost of foodstuff in the market, the cost of healthcare in Nigeria, the cost of education, everything. You are now introducing a tax to also leak from the little one we have. This is madness. To be honest with you, this is madness. Because you cannot be taxing the poor to enrich the rich. Yeah, fine. We know that there are some sessions who map out that okay, you are doing so business, you must have up to so amount before you can pay tax. But you and I know that we pay tax every second. Even the call we make, even just let's say by next 2-3 years we'll be paying for the air we breathe. Where are we going to?
They are not God.
Yeah, I know they are not God, but if you look at how they are doing this issue of that is how Lagos become mini London because of their tax system. Now the Tinubu-led administration is now bringing the same thing to bear in the remaining 35 states. So it is important that let them do a thorough investigation and analyze what they passed, what the House of Representatives passed, and what the presidency signed into law.
But I like the angle you're bringing. You just called Lagos State a mini London.
Yes.
Meaning that, I mean, in terms of
infrastructure and also tax.
So it means that they are taking tax to develop the state.
No. Yes, they are taking tax to develop the state. But let me tell you, most of the development you see in Lagos are private-owned development, not just the government alone. You understand? Because it's a business hub. Now, if they tax, the government they are doing fine. But the tax is too high. Especially now that we are facing hardship. Nigeria is going through hardship. Don't allow anybody to tell you. I was listening to one of the presidential advisor that was saying that if you go to Lagos, you see people. Yeah, fine. Some of them are private people. You understand?
Right.
But taxing a common man like a civil servant who cannot even earn up to 100,000 monthly
as a minimum wage.
As a minimum wage to come and pay tax in anything you are doing. You are buying biscuit for your children. You are buying fuel. You are buying this, everything. You have a tax to pay to the federal government from even 5% to 7.5%. This is unbearable. I think there is a need for us to look into this and let the federal government come out with a document that will liberate us from this hardship. Not that they will pay every day we talk about tax. Now tax have taken over some issues that we are talking about.
That's true.
Before you know what is happening, we are in 2026 by the special grace of all. You know this time we are in 2026. All of us will focus on politics. Administration is talking about 2027 election. When are we going to get this right? When are we going to get it right?
Talking about getting things right, UTAG, Southeast bound commuters battle extortion and bad roads. So a lot of people are traveling back from different places back home, especially those coming back to the east. And they're having what we call gridlock, like traffic jam. It's really crazy. And not just that, it's of course one of the major factors is the fact that our roads are no longer motorable.
At all.
And now they're also experiencing what they call extortion, maybe from the police
Community,
or
the police, the tax force.
especially because maybe they want to maneuver
Yes.
from a particular spot to another, and then people from that community will come out and say you cannot pass, you cannot ply this route except a lot of people, a lot of monies is changing hands
Yes.
this period, and it shouldn't be.
No. We are actually moving into a time. We are not praying for revolution, but gradually, the government of the day are gradually pushing the citizens to revolution.
The revolution.
Yes. So please, if I am partially an man, as we speak, in the next 2, 3, 4 hours, I will be in Sapling for my Christmas holiday. I'm from the Canada, but my wife is from there, so we said to go to that side and then celebrate. Do you know that you cannot travel from Asaba through Benin, through bypass to Sapling? You cannot. Except maybe you have your clothes that you'll be changing. You can spend 2, 3 days. If you are traveling, if you are traveling, yes, I'm telling you the gospel fact. And if you want to pass through Obe, either you are battling with bandit or you are battling with trailer. No road. You must pass through Abraka, pass through Eku.
That's true.
Before you get to Sapling. And we keep paying tax every day. We say yes, you renew hope, and most of our roads are bad. Federal government are not. Look, I was telling somebody, I said, what brought about coastal road when the ones we have available are not motorable? You are signing 15 trillion to construct road from Lagos to Calabar. Why the one we have from Lagos to Onitsha, that are for the market people, that are for goods and services, are not working? You are releasing 15 trillion to construct road from. I think there is a need for us to misplay priorities. The federal government need to sit down and think how they can remedy the situation. Let me tell you, you may take it or leave it. A time will come. Your performance will determine if you will be re-elected. I know that our judiciary system and our INEC system are
gradually slipping into a one-party.
It's one-party system, and if we slip into one-party system, I think that is the end of our.
So nobody will be
Yes, nobody will be held accountable. You can't
have a
talk.
choice.
You don't have a choice. There is no alternative.
There's no alternative.
But I somewhat love what the Northerns are doing. I am not against the APC, but it is important that as a nation like this, we have an opposition. Opposition gives you the bed to sit properly. You know, when you are in exam hall, you see that somebody have written 2 pages and you are still in 1 page. You reinforce. You crack your brain. You must crack your brain, or you try to see how you can be able to write at least. So if we don't have opposition, these people are not ready to perform. All they know about it, we will plan for the next election and see how you can empower people who can be able to convince their hungry electorate to vote for you. Now they are giving us rice.
Are they giving you rice?
No, they have not given me. They are giving us rice. They say they gave one trailer. So it's because of rice now. That is why you cannot do the
The question is, one trailer to who? To who? Because the company,
we are not seeing anything.
At the end of the day, the people who really needs the rice are not getting it. Man.
I'd like to thank you so much.
How many of our House of Rep member is holding town hall meeting to tell us how they manage their
And
constituency?
to give back to their constituency as well.
They cannot tell you how they manage their constituency fund. What they do is that when they are there, the leader that nominate them for that position, when the constituency fund comes, so guys see how much coming. Say, okay, put this one into this account and put this one into this account.
Really? Is that how it works?
People are there. There are a lot of House of Assembly, House of Rep members that are empowering people with generator. You are empowering people with generator. Money that you are supposed to use to construct road, you are using it to buy generator.
I think they need generator now.
No, they need
For their
generator.
businesses.
Now, if you need generator for your businesses, you must know the kind of businesses they are empowering you.
Like
somebody
barbing
who is
salon.
doing barbing salon, yes. How many barbing salon? If you have 20 barbing salon, how many people are ready to cut their hair there? they should focus on the important thing. We are talking about road. Our health system is not working. Let's look at those important things. Not all these things to push you out of education. Why not buy generator for your daughter to come back from UK and start barbing hair in Nigeria?
One step at a time.
Yes.
I just thank you so much, Honorable Comrade Victor Ucheka, a publisher at Pathway Newspapers, and the CEO Pathway Group of Companies. Thank you so much
Thank
for
Thank you
bringing
so
us
much
up to
for
speed.
coming.
Well, I will take a break now, and when we come back, we'll be looking at our guest scholar for today. Don't go away. Tuesday's edition of The Ride. Right back. right, you welcome back, and in case you're just joining us, it's Tuesday's edition of the Top Light television program, Morning Ride, and it's actually the season. There's a reason for the season. Okay, it's a Christmas special, and we are being joined in the studio by one of our best, one of Nigeria's finest directors as far as the National Orientation Agency is concerned. I'd like to welcome to the studio the State Director of the National Orientation Agency, NOA, Deaconess Omamoded Tracy Ikolomi.
Good morning, viewers. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yes, I must commend you seriously, because I know that you have a very, 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 very busy schedule, and you actually had to give us your words that yes, you're going to make it, and we're really happy that you have actually kept to your promise. We're most obliged to have you on our set this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, a lot of people have talked so well about the National Orientation Agency, most especially from their daily campaigns on television, sensitizing and carrying everybody along on the need for us to be up to date and up to speed from various thematic areas, But we would have our focus today on youth engagement and orientation, because I know it's one area that your agency is very, very particular about. So when we're talking about youth engagement and orientation, what are we looking at?
Okay. That's a very important part of the demography, the youths. Like they say, the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. But we have come to say that the youths are leaders of today and tomorrow. They're very important parts of our nation building process. Like we have if you look at the number of persons in the society today, most of them are youths. Youths make up close to 70% of our society. So you cannot downplay the role of the youths to have a very formidable society, and also to have a nation that we can, those of us who are maybe older, can look back and say we have capable hands that were leaving the realm of government and other activities that pertains to our nation building to a particular group of people who are ready, to take the role of leadership. It's not just enough to say we are leaders. What are you doing to ensure that you play that role? So the youth, we have a department in our agency for youth engagement and inclusion, which is to say that the youths must be carried along. We cannot leave them, like they jokingly say, you say the youths are the leaders. When are they going to actually be leaders? If you look at the political space, most of the leaders there are in their either 50s or 60s or 70s. You hardly see young, 30, 40 and below who are at maybe governor of a state or the presidency. If you take our lineup of the last presidents we've had, I think President Goodluck Jonathan was about the youngest. You understand? So we are looking at the youths, that they have a place, very important place in nation building. And so we cannot just fold our arms and say, just go to sleep. Of course, the youths have their parts to play. But of course, the leaders also, present-day leaders and older generation have their parts to play.
Okay. I think that's a good way to actually kickstart this discussion process, because I know during the military era, we had the likes of General Yakubu Gowon, who became governor and who became head of state at the age of 30.
Yeah.
You know.
Out.
So he was a vibrant youth and was able to carry us to a point where other issues came in and all of that. And since then, the next person that youth fell also within that bracket was Goodluck Jonathan. But the elderly ones, as from 70, 80, see themselves as is their birthright. You know, if it doesn't fall within us, it's no way. Okay, how can the young people now be more actively involved, especially when it comes to national development?
Okay. You know, it's a process. You don't just wake up and say, it's my turn or it's my right. You need to be involved from the very grassroots. When we talk about politics, starts from somewhere. And then starting from somewhere doesn't mean that you have to wait for eternity to become get to the highest position. If we have a viable, let's say 45, 50 years old man, it might not be a very young man, but it's not up there, it's not 70, it's not 80. So we're saying that the youths should play their parts also. Do what is right, don't fold your arms. Don't say, nothing comes to you on a platter of gold, that's the truth. You must work for it, you must earn that position or what you're looking for. So we're saying that the youth must be out there and they must be credible also. They must do what is right and they should involve themselves. When we talk about leadership, most of them, it's not just politics. If you look at the non-formal sector, that's the private sector and all that, you find very young people doing very well. You have the tech, the youth generation. Tech is the one controlling the economy these days. And we have very young demographic, between 30 and 40, who are in that space. And if you look at the fashion industry, if you look at the other entertainment industry, very young people are there. Davido is a young man. Wizkid is a young man. Tens and all of them. This lady that made Guinness Book of Records not too long ago in cooking, Hilda Bassi, she's a young lady. So leadership is not just in the political terrain. We have other forms of leadership. So of course the political terrain are the ones that control maybe government policies and everything. But then there are other places you can make yourself relevant, and then it will now give you a platter, like a platform to move, onto other forms of leadership.
All right, still looking at the perspective of the topic, youth engagement and orientation. Can you speak on how you think government and institutions regain the trust of the young people? Because at the point, the young people there was this mistrust, that okay, in very little you cannot handle. How do you think you can now handle a major process moving forward?
Okay, I think, like I said earlier, many young people are doing very well in other spaces of living. Let's look at the government sector, for instance. Our current governor, His Excellency Elder Sheriff Buruwuri, has a lot of youth assistants. The other day I was looking through my social media, I saw a lot of activities that most of them were doing this season to bring people together. And many of them also have other platforms where they highlight the activities of the government. So you cannot say those people are not interested. Yes. So I think the government has a part to play. Bring in the youths, see what they can do, and then give them other opportunities. Don't just rely on. I don't say any reason. For instance, a 60-something years old person is being given appointment when you have a lot of youths. We know 60 is the official age for retirement, and then you find out that, of course, it doesn't mean that when you are retired that you are tired. You can do a lot of things, but for governance, allow this younger generation. I don't think that they have given as much opportunity as they should. And you cannot now say that they have messed up the opportunity. Like I gave you an answer, I don't want to mention it. I have a lot of youths, young men especially, and some young women who have political appointees to the government, and some maybe to other politicians, and they're trying their best. So I think that just give them the platform, give them the space, and they would, showcase their talents. Our youth, Nigerians especially, who are very good. We're just talking about the country not too long ago. Yesterday I was talking to somebody, and we are very good in anywhere we find ourselves, in and outside of this country. Just name it. Is it sports? Is it entertainment? Is it technology? Because it's not only just social now, maybe entertainment. No. For tech, you see lot of young people working remote jobs now as I speak with you. As I speak with you, my daughter is doing a remote job. It's tech. You can't do a remote job, by any other means. So I tell you the truth. The youths have a lot to offer, and we cannot allow it to go to waste. The older people should please, it's time. Because it looks like we say, the country, those who are at the end of affairs, have not given us as much as we desire. Why not try the youths? I was listening to your program earlier, and your guest was complaining about the myriad of issues that we are dealing with in the country right now. If you look at the topography, and if you look at the demography, it's not the youths that are responsible. It's the older generation. So I think the youths can be, involved, given the space to showcase what they have. And I tell you the truth, I think that if we follow that line of thoughts, Nigeria will be a better place for us.
All right, moving forward, taking it from that thought process, we are in a Gen Z age now, and as compared to how it used to be 30 years ago, there's a paradigm, a very big paradigm shift. What most of our youths are involved now is, you see them getting involved in things that are not palatable, from kidnapping to rituals to Yahoo Plus. You can imagine all of these attributes all in their hearts. It wasn't like that those days. You hardly can see a 70-year-old man who's a kidnapper. And when the reports of those who engage
when
in
they
this
show
crime,
them on TV,
you see
very
them young boys,
yes.
23 years, 25, 31, 32, they form the ambit of the youths. How can now orientation play a role in shaping these young guys into responsible citizens?
Yes, orientation is very key, very important, because what is orientation? It's telling people, try to change their mindsets. Like I said earlier concerning youths who are into the tech space, it's easy for us to see these Yahoo, these kidnappers, and maybe ritualists. But I tell you, I don't think that if you look at the percentage, they are the highest. There are many youths into positive activities, and they may not be so glaring for everybody to see. It's easy to see the negative, and like you said, society evolves, society changes. These days, what we place premium on is what you have achieved. They don't care how you achieve it. I tell you the truth. Most people, like I was listening to DBS radio this morning before I came in, you see people elogizing wealth. They don't give a damn how you got the wealth. Even if you are the one impoverishing them, like a caller said, the followers are the problem, not even just the leaders. The followers, knowing what these leaders are doing are not correct, also, try to see what they can get. This syndrome, this mindset of doesn't matter as long as I can get something, is where we are getting it wrong. Of course, we know that we can't shy away from the truth that we have a lot of youths on the negative side, especially this issue of Yahoo that have now turned into a ritual they call it, is it Yahoo Plus?
Yeah, Yahoo Science.
I think they used to call it Plus,
Yeah,
so
to
maybe
get
that's
rich
moved
quick.
on to science. Yes,
Yeah.
you see, they want to get money at all costs, and like we say, it's orientation. If you give your children, like we say, orientation starts both the society, both the home, both the schools. Every one of us have a part to play. Growing up, my father never prioritized money over a good name. For instance, my name is a good name, and a good name is better than, riches and any other thing that you can think of. So our parents never prioritized. Though some people have the misfortune of having parents who prioritize such things, but most of the society, I tell you the truth, most of us in our own demography, our parents never encourage, what you didn't work for. But in those days, if you come with even as small as a bicycle, somebody was saying, I think on TBS also radio, that when a young man came in and bought in those days motorcycle, the father pursued him and said, "Where did you start work?" See A, B, C, D that has been working for years. They've not bought Yamaha. In those days, Yamaha was the in thing, not now that people can afford cars. In those days, people who couldn't afford vehicles, they're very comfortable with having motorbikes. And then you know that in those days, people graduate from one level of car to the other. Not that these days when you want to buy a car, you start with the highest. And then after starting with the highest, what's the next step? I know that my father, for instance, started with a Volkswagen and then moved on to Peugeot and all that. So I tell you the truth, family orientation is very important. What you tell your children, what you make, it's not just words, your actions also. Even if you're not telling the child, don't go and do this, go and do that. If you complain about a child that does not have a job, I said, now let me go, they feed you now for this house. I've trained you in school. What are you telling that child?
Go
and do something that whether it's right or wrong to get money. So I tell you the truth, family orientation is very important. We must get it right from the home front. The home front, like people say, parenting has failed. I try not to agree so much with that adage, but it's glaring. Because I can speak for myself. I can't speak for the next man. So the truth of the matter is that both at the state level, at the family level, at the community level, youths need to be given a good orientation that will make them turn away from this circle. Because I tell you, we are going nowhere if your life is not safe anymore. You don't have a friend you can trust. In those days, you can walk into anybody's house, you are sure. But these days, the person you think is your friend can just kill you.
That's correct.
Because of money. He wants to make money. And most of the time, I'm not sure they make that money. Because it's just like I want to look at it from spiritual angle. Just like the devil is deceiving them. I'm thinking that anything, because at times you can, why don't you translate that you kill somebody and then you make money? Can that money even last?
That's all.
So that's the situation we find ourselves. Of course, the government has a lot of role. That's where my agency comes in, has a lot of role to play. And that's why the youth engagement department of my agency is always on the news, letting the children know that, letting the youth know that we need to do the right things. Like we say in our agency, do the right thing. We need to do the right thing. Because if you keep looking at how much you're going to get, you might not even be alive.
To spend it.
Yes, to spend. Because I was watching one skit on TV, on social media not too long ago. They tell them that you have a lifespan.
Yeah.
You get this money maybe for 2 years or 3 years. Is it worth it?
It's not.
Is it worth it? So you have you get the money, maybe you do a lot of things, and then you have millions, and they tell you have only 2 years to enjoy it, or if not, you bring another human being. And then this young man was trying to do that, but somehow the people were able to escape. It might not be reality, but they're just trying to portray the society. Yes.
Yeah.
So orientation is key. We need to keep talking. We can't stop talking, because like the Bible says, just talk. Those that will hear will hear.
That's right.
Those that don't want to hear, well, like you're looking at now. Just when people talk about just Yahoo, what about the girls that pimp themselves,
Yes.
that do a lot of that, dress very improperly, You know, you are walking in the daytime, you see a lady that will wear clothes that are revealing, that are not, sightly at all, and they don't see anything wrong with it. Like I say, don't, because most of them are very young, don't they come from homes?
They do. They just go somewhere, change and
Are you sure they go somewhere to change? Or even the parents don't see anything wrong with it? So I believe that we can never stop. We must continue to orient the youth, because like we say, they are the future. Very soon, most of us will have maximum will have maybe 50 years from now. Your time is up, and then the other younger ones will continue. What kind of society are we living behind? So it's very important that we tell the truth, we do our parts as parents, and if you are a parent, let me speak. Like if you are a parent out there encouraging your children to do negative things and wrong things, sorry, you might be the victim, and then that thing that you want to enjoy, you will not be there to enjoy it. So if you are listening to me this morning, please, we all have a part to play, and we must continue to encourage our children to do right, because that's the only way we can have a better society.
oh, beautiful, beautiful. So I'll just a few more, one or two more questions, and will allow you. Entrepreneurship is the intent,
Yeah.
and I know part of the thematic area is also developing entrepreneurs.
Yes.
You know, so how can entrepreneurship be promoted amongst youth today?
It's a very good one. I think not too long ago, I saw on John Gold's platform that this federal government is giving the youth loan. I think a 5 million naira loan for entrepreneurship to develop things. So this present administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is also involved in youth entrepreneurship promotion, and one of these is, so you know one thing about giving you a freebie, most of the time you will not value it. Like what somebody is saying, he said, even you personally, you're going into your own business. He said, take a loan. I think I was listening to one program on social media. He said, take a loan. Even if you have the money, take a loan. And then that way you will value that money is not yours and you put in your best. So one of the entrepreneurship developments of this present administration is giving out loans to the youth demographic, I think between 30 or thereabouts. It has to be a youth. Maybe you're unemployed, or even if you're employed, yes, you assess it. Fortunately, I don't have the link. I would have shared it. If I had remembered, I would have written it down to share. But I think if you go to the tech space, if you go to Google or whatever, ask that question, you'll be able to get the answer. So entrepreneurship is very important. Like I was mentioning some names, it's not necessarily just doing business. It could be skill. You understand? Skill is also business. Let me use my daughter that you know as another example. You know, she's waiting for her NYC. First of all, she got a job with the Abioma Voice, and later they couldn't continue. But she on her own is into cooking, that's catering. It's not as if she learned it from a catering school. But you know, young people these days, anything you want to learn, just go to the internet and they learn a lot from there. And so she's into that. And before she got this, this job that is working from home, the internet. So I tell you the truth, there are a lot of ways that children and youths can develop themselves. If you got a skill, see how you can develop that skill. If you need money, like I said, there are some opportunities that you can get, and you'll be able to develop it. It will not limit you. So it's very important that our youths develop themselves. Like when I go for a camp, the NYC camp lectures, this entrepreneurship is a very important topic I always talk about. I ask them some select questions. I say, gone are the days that you say you went to school and the only thing you do is that your academic work that your parents sent you to go and do. I ask them, how many of you have skills outside and you will be surprised, most of them They are into videography, they are into catering, they are into tailoring, they are into hair, they are into makeup, they are into nails. Like I say, I always try to use my own children as an example. My daughter used to do nails while she was in the university. This nails, this is an expensive one. Like I jokingly tell the children in camp, I said, me, I won't even pay those kind of amount that you people pay for nails. But you are the young, like you said, the Gen Z. These are important to you, the demography. So you can pay 15,000 naira for nails. Me, if I want to do that, just go to one simple salon, just clean the nails out, polish it. I'll give them maximum 1,000. But these younger people, what they value and different. So if you develop yourself, let's take the case of the popular Vicky James. You found out that she started from somewhere. She developed her skill in tailoring, and she's a brand name today. Anywhere in the world, her name is. And she used the leverage on the social media also to improve her visibility. So visibility is very important. When you do what you are doing, showcase it out there, let people know. That's why you see most of them are on TikTok. Our generation, most of us are not on TikTok.
No.
But they are on TikTok every day. They are showcasing themselves. They're doing a lot of skits. You see a lot of people now, they are into different kind of skits, trying to send messages. So entrepreneurship comes in different forms. You must do something with your time and with your life. Don't feel laid back. I always tell them also, I said, there was a day I was in my bank and I was watching the screen. There was a young lady, she studied medicine. But at the end of the day, she's not working with the medicine. Most of them, you see, what they studied in school, that's not what they eventually work with. They develop other skills. And like this lady, she was into Ankara. They use Ankara to cover bags and shoes. She has a big company. She studied as a medical doctor. I'm sure her parents will be saying, his doctor wanted you to do. But I'm sure she's more fulfilled and she has more money. Because whether you like it or not, money is very important in our life. Because the Bible says money answers all things. So we cannot run away from the need for money. But what we're saying, don't do negative things to get this money. And I also want to use another example that I tell the children when I go to camp. I said, if you look at people who have made it, some of them started very small. Like I use this Vicky James as an example. They started small. I'm sure when Davido and Whiskey started, they didn't have this international acclaim that they have. And so you must start from somewhere. And most of us, when we started our jobs, we are not where we are now is not how we started. We have grown in so many things, in wisdom. We might not, as civil servants, we might not have so much money. But there are other opportunities that come your way and that you can also leverage to give you another start in life. So I think that entrepreneurship is the way to go, is the key, and people must look inward to see what they can do, to ensure that they don't just rely on, like they encourage multiple streams of income these days. Whatever you can do that can give you the legit income is what is the way to go. And I know that of course finances are very important, but like we have said, there are some ways you can access finance and you can be the best. I always also use the example of Emma Hart's story. I don't know if you've read Emma Hart's story. Yes, you find that Emma Hart started very young, and before you know, she became a brand name. In those days, not even now, and became I think the last of that series is to be the best. And to be the best, you must start from somewhere. And so at the end of the day, she had a brand name. She had stores in the Americas and all that, but she started small. So most of them, like I said, most of you might not have this information. You might not know, like you and I'm speaking to you because you're in my own age bracket. You know about Emma Hart. Some of them don't know, but you must start from somewhere. If you look at the literary world, also look at our own Chimamanda. You see what she's doing. So there are many like that, and she's a young lady. She's a youth. So we can't just, if the talent you have, develop it, and I'm sure it will take you to, yes, a very high level. Like I also tell them also, it's not only what you see. There's the internet. You have this beats production, like this. What's his name? This popular Buga singer. What's his name? Kiss Daniel. You find that most of the time he writes music for others. He doesn't even sing his own music. Most of the music that blow is somebody else that writes for them. Yeah. So there are other ways that you can make it. You can be a writer, a literary writer, you can be a music writer, you can be like if you go to social events and you see poets showcasing themselves.
That's right.
So you find out that there are lots you can do as youths. See how you can look inward, and I'm sure the sky, like you say, is just a stepping stone.
Oh, I'd like to thank you so much for bringing us up to speed. You've actually spoken motivationally, and I'm so excited that to get you into our sense today. Thank you so much, Dickiness Omamode Tracy Okolomi, the State Director of the National Orientation Agency. I just got signals now that I need to bring in on our next guest. She's spoken so well on youth engagement and orientation, and the economic executive summary, entrepreneurship is the best way to go, and that becomes the starting point. Thank you so much, ma.
My pleasure.
I do
Thank
hope
you for
that
having me.
on a different platform,
Yes,
again,
yes,
apart from
please.
this,
Yes.
we'll have you also
Yes.
speak to this conversation. We'll take a break now, and when we come back, it will be yet the last spot for this morning. Don't go away. We'll be right back.